Hi everybody, John with you. Welcome back to my channel. And well, it's first day of the new year. I hope you are enjoying 2021 thus far. Let's take a look back at the sunset last night just for fun. This was the last sunset of 2020 here in Waikiki. Well, it's January 1st, and what is that day? It's the day that if we're going to, we should talk about New Year's resolutions, right? So let's have a little tea, sleigh bell tea. Sometimes I make them, sometimes I don't. I debated whether to make any this year, and then after I decided I was going to make some, I debated whether to do a video about it or just keep them private. But I thought, I'll do a video so I'll hold myself a little bit accountable. So if you guys don't hear from me in a couple of months about how I'm doing with my New Year's, resolutions, you can sort of prompt me like, hey, how are you doing? Have you fallen off the wagon or whatever? So I have 5 things that I want to do. And this year, I'm not calling them resolutions because that sort of means, when you resolve to do something, you are absolutely committed to it and you're like all in and you're going to do it. And if you don't do it, it's a failure. So I'm not going to do that this year. I'm calling them New Year's challenges because I think that has a different perspective. So these are things I'm challenged to accomplish in 2021. Whether I will 100% or not, I don't know. But, I would like to challenge myself and see. So there's really no failure if you're challenging yourself. You just do some of it and maybe you're able to do it all the way and maybe you're not. So I have 5 things. Number 1, I'm reading from it right now, which is to write a diary entry every day. In past years, I've been very good about diary keeping. I have diaries from years ago. It's kind of cool to pull them out and look at them every so often and remember things. But the year before last, I kind of started laxing off and I just wasn't writing every day like I should. And then for 2020, I just decided I wasn't going to even try. I was just going to journal. So I got a blank book, not with dates and whatever, just to write whenever I felt like it, write whatever I felt. And that was not successful because I ended up last year hardly writing anything at all. I mean, there's only like 12 days or something. I think I wrote something, or not that much. And that's bad. And it's a shame because 2020 being the COVID-19 pandemic, a very unique time in history for us to be living through. And I just didn't really keep a written record of what I was thinking or feeling or my reactions to news stories or my shifts between, conspiracies and realities and, what so many people have been going through. It would have been nice to sort of document that, but I didn't. And I'm sad that I didn't. So even though we're still in this pandemic, I just thought this year I am going to do a diary and I'm going to go back to what I used to do, which is get a weekly, monthly planner, not a diary. It's at least enough space for me. I don't want to write volumes, about every day, but I just want to write like what happened and maybe if I have a thought about something or whatever. So this kind of a thing is plenty enough room for me to write like a paragraph about what happened every day, something that happened every day. And at the end, if there's something I want to write more about in depth, there's like 50 pages that's just notes like this. So there's plenty of room to do that. So that is number 1 thing I'm gonna, get back into in this new year. I've already started the journal because this actually started December 28th in here, so I started then. Second thing I want to do, I'm diabetic type 2, and I've been really good over the past couple of years of keeping my sugar levels where they're supposed to be. I take metformin, and then through your own control and whatever, I've kept my levels within where they're supposed to be. So I once or twice gone slightly over, but it's been really good. But I know, like, during the holidays, and by holidays I mean starting like in Halloween, October, I knew I was like off the wagon, that I was eating like way too much stuff that had sugar in it. And it was, I was bringing things home and like, wow, going to Cheesecake Factory, and like, I just knew like it's gonna be bad. And I just had my blood work done last week, and yeah, it's horrible. It's the worst it's ever been. It's bad. So I know I'm going to get scoldings when I go to the doctor next week, but for my semi-annual, he's going to ream me. But, so I just decided that, part of the problem with a lot of foods with me is portion control. So, my challenge is going to be that I'm not bringing any sugar-filled snacks, any sugar-filled foods, other than fruit, which is a natural sugar, and it's still sugar, but it has fiber and everything with it. I'm not going to bring any sweet, snacky, cereal-y kind of stuff into the house, because I have been bad about that over the whole holiday period. So if it's more than, I'm going to say, like 8 or 9 grams of sugar per serving, I'm not going to buy it for the house. Whatever it is, I'm not going to bring it home. And I can eat things when I go out sometimes. Yeah, I might go out sometime and have a cheesecake with somebody or whatever. Yeah, but bringing things home was my mistake, because that's where I can't control it. If I get a bag of something if I have a box of like sugary cereal that I love with marshmallows in it or something, I can't have that over multiple days. It's like I just know how I am. I'll take it home and I'll have a bowl, and then I'll go, that's good. And I'll put on Netflix, and I will sit there and eat the entire box without really even thinking about it. So I'm not going to bring any of that stuff home. That's the rule. Nothing with more than 8 or 9 grams of sugar can come in that front door. Not going to happen. And when I'm out and with friends or something, yeah, we can have something. So that's my second one. Then I'm going to make sure I go out and do some sort of activity at least 3 or 4 days a week. Now, when this pandemic began, I could not stay at home, like in my studio apartment, for a whole day. Like, I always had to go outside, whether it was going for a walk or to the beach or shopping or something. Like, I had to go out every day. Didn't matter what was happening. I had my masks and everything, but I had to get out of the house every day. It's a studio apartment. As time has progressed with the COVID-19 pandemic, I have become accustomed to being at home. And it has happened that now I can literally stay in this apartment for like 2 or 3 days at a time, not leave it, and not feel bad at all. I mean, feel like, entertained and reading and doing, I have stuff to do and stuff to work on with my radio station and whatever, YouTube, whatever. I have stuff I can do. So I can like never leave the apartment for 2 or 3 days and just stay here. But I think that's not good. It's not a good thing. Like, I should be getting out more. I live in a place where the climate's lovely. You can get out and whatever. So my challenge is and I have my diary so I can keep track of what days I'm doing what, but to do some sort of outdoor activity at least 3 or 4 days a week. I mean, 7 days a week. So whatever, 3 or 4 days a week, whether that's to go for like a walk for at least a half an hour. There are a lot of different routes I can take to do half-hour walks that I'm familiar with. Or go to the ocean, go to the beach for a while, or even just to go shopping. Like today, I went shopping, grocery shopping, a couple places, just to go out and get on the bus and walk around and whatever. Not to just stay in the apartment, because I just don't think that's a good thing to do multiple days, really. It's like, I'm comfortable doing it, but I don't think it's okay. Like, I don't want to do that. So that's going to be a challenge, and I can keep track of it.
Hello. You can escape the coldness of winter by listening to Hawaiian Hi-Fi Radio on Live365.com. Vintage vinyl music from my islands will keep you warm. all through the winter. It's absolutely free. Hawaiian Hi-Fi Radio, live365.com. The link is below. I hope you'll join me there for a Mai Tai.
I have a lot of books. I have so many books. I know you see my records, but if you watch my apartment tour video, and I have even more books now than I did then. Way too many books. But I'm going to put a challenge forward of the kinds of books I'm reading, because I always am reading, I'm very Gemini, I'm always reading like 2 books at a time usually. So I'm going to make a challenge this year, because I have so many books like this, is that one book that I'm reading at a time can be anything. It doesn't matter, fiction, nonfiction, whatever. The other book that I will be reading at that time needs to be spiritually based, something about spirituality. Because I have a lot of these books, it's interesting to me, and I'm like, I need to focus on getting through these books a lot more than I have. So let me put this challenge up there. So one book will be spiritually based, and by that I mean so many things, because I have so many books on so many different kinds of spirituality. It's a subject that's very interesting to me. And I'm very interested in reading more. So I have lots of books, like, for example, like The Many Faces of Christ, 1,000-Year Story of Survival and Influence of the Lost Gospels. Lost Gospels, very interesting to me. Stuff like this, you know, Sylvia Browne, The Mysteries and Secrets of the World, and re-exploring the Book of Mormon, right? And novels. There are novels that I have that are spiritually based, like American Priestess. This is the story of this woman in the 1800s who went to Jerusalem and founded an American colony there. I don't know anything about it. Interesting. This is a novel also, The Dictionary of the Khazars, a lexicon novel, which involves some sacred writings of some different religions and things going on with them in a novel form. So yeah, so, you know, at least, and things like this, Cook Islands legends, right? Something based on spirituality. So one book of whatever, and one book that's based on spiritual subject. That's my challenge. And see if I can get through a bunch of books. And then finally, it would be, and this is the one that's the hardest. This is the this is part of the challenge I really may not meet, but I'm going to put it out there, to not buy any more books in 2021. No books purchased in 2021. I've made this resolution in the past and have failed at it several times. I can't go to thrift stores and sales and whatever without like finding books that I'm just like, oh, this is interesting and I'll probably never see it again, and it's only $1. Let me just get it. But you know, I'm overflowing with books. I have thousands. I mean, I don't know, but I haven't counted, but I know I have. I've got to have 500-600 books in this apartment. I have to, if not more. So I need to get moving them out, and I don't hang on to them. The only books I hang on to are ones that are like picture books that I would look at, coffee table books that I would go back and look at, and then certain books that I'm very, very fond of I might keep, but otherwise they come in and they go out. So I need to get some of these books out of here this year and not replenish it. Now, challenge me on this one, because I don't know if I'll make it, but we'll see. That's going to be the hard one. I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but I'm going to try not to buy any books, except for, now there may be a couple books that are like coming out or that are new books that I know about that are very specific topics. Like there's a book on Tahitian, this photographer in Tahiti in the early 1900s. There's a book on the Cabinet of Wonders from Taschen. Like, I want to get those books. And if I see them used or cheaper, you know, this year, I am going to buy those. But like, as far as just all these random books I'm always picking up, no, I got to stop it. So I don't know. What about you? Are you doing any resolutions or challenges, or are you not doing it? Let me know down in the comments, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see you in the next video, probably tomorrow.